Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Gaia Gossip on the Move. My name is Alicia Fall. I am the founder and vision holder for Her Many Voices Foundation. Now, typically when you guys join us, I'm here with my partner in crime, Aisla Lewis, but unfortunately, Aisla is being affected by the storm that has plowed through Florida and is going through Georgia, where she is right now. So she is completely in the dark, no energy flowing over there where she's at. So she's not going to be able to join us today. But today we have another wonderful show with Maren Krings. And Maren is going to be joining us any moment now. Maren, are you there?
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm there. Good to see you, Alicia.
Good to see you too, sweetheart. Where are you calling in from?
I am in Austria at the moment. I have moved from the mountain to the valley because we got completely hit by a huge snowstorm event a week ago. So with 1.5 meters of snow in the middle of summer, I had to vacate my mountain.
Oh my God, this climate, everywhere. Between Florida being hit, they were talking about 12-foot swells, of waves, and you guys being hit. Mother's definitely speaking, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's quite crazy. I really want to send out my good wishes and hope for the best because Georgia certainly holds some old memories for me. That's why I went to college, and I do remember these times when storms were moving in. Actually, you know what? We even have our special guest today who probably also has a couple of storm stories to share with us. So I think our today's show will definitely put into perspective how interconnected all of us are in this. It's we keep thinking it's happening only in some locations, but it's not. And I heard some interesting quote the other week, which was the climate crisis is sort of the problem of tomorrow for the global north, but it has been the problem of the past for the global south. So I think it's good we're addressing this coming from so many different directions and geographies in this podcast.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to hear between you and our wonderful guest Pierre today about your trip and your experiences of what it's like, whether it's on the sea or in the mountains, what it's like having this impact of climate for what we're experiencing today. So, Maren, I am going to bow out and let you have at it.
Stay safe, and thank you for introducing us and getting us started. And I definitely ask Pierre to join us. Pierre, are you there?
Hello. Yes.
Welcome to the show, Pierre. Pierre, where about are you taken from your background?
Well, taking from the background, actually, I could be there on the boat, but I'm not on the boat. I'm not in Brittany. I'm in some part of Germany right now.
All right. We're definitely all on the move. This really fits the podcast motto, on the move. Pierre, talking about storms, before we get into the official introduction that we'll start in a moment, I would love to stick for a second on the climate topic. I mean, we all met up in Brittany about it's a month ago now, no, a bit more.
A bit more, yeah.
And Yeah, and we also had quite quite interesting weather. We had torrential rains. Is that normal for Brittany, or is that rather an unusual weather event?
Um, I can say for Brittany, it's not surprising. Although at this time of the year, we should have a correct summer time. But for this year and the past year, last year, we had some really bad summertime, very, very, very wet. Basically, we reached the annual precipitation by early July, middle of July, end of July. We had the full water rain for the year. So yeah, there's an excess of rain this year and last year, definitely. But then, the year before we had a drought. So we can't really predict what's happening and what's going to be next. And this year proved again, while you were there, we couldn't really go sailing for a full week. Because the conditions were not gentle, and we had to wait for the weather to clear.
Yeah. True, true, true. Well, Pierre, before obviously our audience doesn't even know you, so let's start at the beginning. Let me take us a little bit back. I mean, it's great to see you again. As we already spilled the beans, we had been in Brittany together in the north of France a bit over a month ago, and I would love to ask you to share to our audience a little bit about yourself and also your project partner, Fred Chez Nous. You both have very fascinating backgrounds, equally on the artistic part, but also on the social impact and climate work. And why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and Fred so that our audience actually knows what's going to be the topic of tonight?
Sure. Okay. So I'm going to start with my partner. Fred Chez Nous is French born, and we met up about 8 years ago in Cape Town in South Africa. Fred had been traveling several years with his family, wife and children across Africa in a 4x4 overland, and he decided to settle down in Cape Town. For my part, I've been in Cape Town since 1994. So Fred and I met and realized that we had a really good connection, even an old connection, as our parents, basically. His father and my mother grew up in the same little village in France, which was like really a big coincidence. But we were so surprised. We straight away we started calling each other cousins. So this is how we got on together, really, like a house on fire, like we say. So yeah, Fred and I met up in 2017. Fred's background, basically, he was in France and developed a disposable ashtray to give to people on the beach and in cities and countryside, in mountains, people to carry an ashtray to collect their cigarette butts, basically, and stop throwing cigarette butts on the floor, on the beach, in the sea, in the forest, causing fire, causing all sorts of problems. And he was how do you say, a pioneer.
Fantastic.
In this department in France. He invented that concept and sold it to many municipalities and towns on coastal region and mountain region of France. So that's Fred's background. He then went on, he carried on, because I mean, for him, I think the ecology is quite an important theme in his life. So Fred carried on with, he was asked to produce a solution for urban areas to collect dog poos. So he came up with a distributor with plastic bags to be installed and set up in urban areas. So he did that as well all over France. His first one was set up under the Eiffel, well, not exactly under, but very close to the Eiffel Tower. And so yeah, that was Fred's occupation in France about 20 years ago. Then you know he could then take his time after that, being successful in business and go travel with his family, and
Cool.
then ended up in Cape Town. So that's a great background.
Tell us about yours, because I heard some interesting stories about what you have done in South Africa yourself, connecting some very
yeah.
humanitarian stories.
Yeah, I can. Yes, of course. Yeah, I can start with that. South Africa was exposed and interested in the situation in the late 80s and early 90s, and I was really interested in the situation. I wanted to go and see what was the situation. I was questioning what I was getting from the media, and it wasn't very clear, the situation with Nelson Mandela and the apartheid, again, the political situation and the social situation between the tribes and the people that lived in that country. So I decided to go and have a look for myself. So I managed to go there in '94.
Start.
Yeah, sorry.
I said that's always a good point to start, to be on the ground and see for oneself.
Yeah, no, that was the best way. After joining a group of South African people in London, where I had some good insights, I then went to travel the country in 1994, just after the first free elections, when Nelson Mandela got in power with the ANC, and I could then see for myself what was happening. So it was like a cultural revolution, and simply put, a revolution in the country. And it was such an immense privilege for me to join that vibe. People were so happy to be released and to have their freedom. It wasn't just Nelson Mandela that got freed. It was like an entire country, 50 million people that got freed from this monster that was apartheid. So we had a bit of a celebration that lasted for several years. I must say, we enjoyed ourselves. We had a great time. I was in the entertainment industry, a performing artist, and we celebrated the life of the Rainbow Nation, which is the nickname, if I may say, for South Africa. Along my performance, I was given the opportunities to perform in disadvantaged communities, and I did a lot of work in refugee camps and communities that were built up from scratch, poor communities that were brought in big cities like in Johannesburg, in Pretoria, in Durban, and in Cape Town. People were brought in for political reasons to gain votes for the ANC in some places. And basically those people would find themselves in the poorest of the poor situation. So I was brought in as a performer to relieve the stress and the trauma for some of the people. And that was quite an amazing experience. I mean, the community in Africa is a very important social base. That's all that works, community. And there's another word that I want to say here. It's Ubuntu. Ubuntu in South Africa is you exist because I exist, or I exist because you exist. We cannot separate each other, and this is Ubuntu. So that's a very good base for me to apply, not just in Africa, but even in the rest of the world, to show the importance of each other's existence.
Let me grab Ubuntu and ask the next question, if that's possible, because I feel there was a lot of Ubuntu when we came together in France, and the only reason why we were allowed to come together in France was because actually the COVID-19 pandemic did maybe not the best thing to your and Fred's life, because you both had to return back to your homelands in France during 2020, right?
Yeah, in 2020, yes, I had to come back to France.
And basically being cut short of, you know, your entire life in South Africa, but also of sailing, which was a big passion for Fred and yourself together. You two started the project that eventually was also our all meeting point. Now, can you tell us a little bit about how Hemp4World actually got started and what the idea behind this is?
Yeah, okay. So briefly, 2020 was a bit of a disaster for me personally. Fred got stuck in South Africa, and I had to leave South Africa in emergency with my parents. Had to come back here, and then we found ourselves away from our ideas and our life in Africa, and decided to create that project Hemp4World. The idea behind Hemp4World was to find a boat, a sailing boat, refit the boat with as much hemp product as possible. We discovered that this plant had infinite use, and we could start using this material in maritime applications for our boat. And we thought this would be a good way to allow us to carry on our travels, because we both travelers. This is what we like to do, and we both sailors, and we thought, hey, we could carry on with the boat. So Hemp4World was born out of that idea, passion for a plant for sure, and passion for traveling.
Nice. Now, for those who can see Pierre's background of the screen, you can already see the boat there. And maybe you spot 2 logos on there, which I think the original idea of the 2 was to, you know, basically start this whole project and the whole mission and get support from main sponsors that they would be communicating as printed on the sails. And I will say that that option is still there, and it's still the way moving forward with the big project. But of all odds, you two picked 2 logos to print on that sail, which one is Plasma for People from Czech Republic, plant-based blood plasma made from hemp. And the second one, I was very honored, ended up being my book logo of Ages for Hemp. Now, could you give us just a little idea to all of us in the audience, why the heck did you put 2 projects on your sail that actually were not really the main sponsors of your project, because all of these projects are looking for their own money, but we definitely ended up being pretty good cooperation partners, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the cooperation is definitely what we wanted. And thank you for introducing Hemp4World to Plasma for People, because that was your work, that was your connection. And we thought that project was so amazing, or is so amazing. The potential of edestine, that protein found in the hemp seeds, to create a vegetable plasma is just a revolution by itself. So for us to have this option on our boat to show people and to talk about it became like a great idea, and a natural idea. And naturally, because you introduced us to Plasma for People, Maren, we decided to honor you as well, because your book has been on our shelf on the boat since 2021 or 2022, I think. And you know, it's like a reference for us. It's an incredible work that you've done, and we wanted to cooperate with you and offer you that opportunity to also promote your work and promote Plasma for People's work. And yeah, yeah, well, thanks to you. That's your...
Well, I will have to say the thanks or the big thank you really goes all the way. And I think just also this podcast on the move is such a manifestation of this interconnectedness. Let that be Ubuntu, let that be hemp as a plant that really unites maybe not planets, we haven't really moved on from planet Earth, but just continents and different countries and different cultures, and this is altogether such a manifestation. And it was quite a trip for us to come to France and visit you. So basically, I went together with one of the people from Plasma for People in the mid of August, and we came on the boat for 5 days planned. And we had a pretty funky thing because a mutual friend of Alicia and I reached out a couple weeks before we came and said, "Oh, I heard you guys are going on the sail trip with these French guys. This is crazy." And so Ed Lehrberger came onto our what do we call it? The visiting boat crew, and Ed was a bit of a wild card. Why is that? Would you share that story with us, because it's quite beautiful?
Yeah, I mean, it's Eddie. Eddie is somebody that we didn't know, and we trusted you with your choice. We just knew that Eddie knew a bit about sailing, and that he wanted to bring his guitar. Okay, so just those two things was enough to be welcome on board. That was absolutely. It was great to have him on board, of course. After spending a bit of time with Eddie, I would say that Eddie is he's a visionary, and he's a little bit of a psychic as well.
Yes.
I think to come back to the project, Eddie saw things happening on board of the boat during that week between all of us. We were immersed in that vibe, all of us, Eddie's included, but he's the one that managed to put it in words and in phrases, and we came up with this floating think tank because it felt so good to be all together and to create this togetherness and this wellness for everyone. It opened doors to this creativity, individual creativity, and we came up with that concept of inviting people aboard and come and discuss anything from hemp. Of course, anything from hemp. Hey, we can talk about other things, and we certainly did for the week. But the floating think tank for the hemp industry, why not? It's a great idea.
Actually, I need to mention that because we already said the interconnectedness. Pure Hemp has partnered with Harmony Voices, and it's called Under the Restorative Botanicals. So, talking about Eddie being a mastermind, and so is Alicia, because it's they two have been setting up their company together while we're already dreaming on with our own ideas there. And that restorative botanical is with Bernie Perry. I'm getting that information right now, so we'll definitely give a bit more of a blurb through Alicia maybe at the end. No, so this experience having Eddie on board really put our, let's say, meeting without a particular mission at that point, besides wanting to see our own logos on the sail, into a whole different dimension. And let's maybe also see on the we've talked a bit about the whole mission of the sails being sort of the playground for sponsors and partners. Why is it so important for you to have sponsors that also turn into partners on the boat? And especially also tell us, because I think you do already have some, right?
Yeah, we do have some partners on board. If I may say, if I may start with that, financially the project is not completely viable for now. The project of going around Europe in the Mediterranean for the next 2 years, and then to carry on around the world with our mission to expose the benefits of hemp in general. This is not yet viable. So the amount of partners we've got on the boat are not all financial. In fact, there's only two that have given us a small donation for now. So we are currently looking for bigger partners and people that want to get involved with our project. And of course, anyone that listens here is more than welcome to join us and Hemp4World, and we can discuss some possibilities of partnership. We're looking for partners that share our vision about hemp in general, and also about life in general, about the traveling, about what do we do with this project and how we can help each other. We're not looking for quick and once-off partnership. We want people long term. We want to get involved with people and companies that have the means and the ways of meeting us on the long term.
Yeah. And I mean, we will have the audio-visual piece to follow our conversation, which will be a great way of really taking our audience on the ship, immersing them into your life, giving them a little bit of a peek behind the scenes of what this whole project is about. Because I have to be really honest, when I heard about you guys first, when you reached out and connected with me, it seemed like a really cool project, but I couldn't really grasp the sort of the whole sense of it. And when I was on board, it was just like, I probably still can't explain it much better, but now I can feel it. And I know it convinced me 100%. And after having seen, I think, well over probably 200 hemp projects by now, well over that, because I've been researching on this topic for 8 years now, there's a lot of projects now that seem very similar to others you've seen before, but I really have to say yours with the boat stuck out completely. You guys are living it, fully embracing it, and in such a funny way, because it's like that. I even remember conversations on the boat going from very funny and very hilarious to dead deep into climate crisis solutions. One moment we're looking at a motor, and the next moment we're talking about product design with hemp on how to solve these little end problems, on how to how do you say, retrofit a boat. And it was just insane how this sort of intermingled with each other. And I actually want to bring up one of the questions from our audience, because Liga Appelgren, our Latvian-Swedish hemp advocate, she has seen one of our social media posts, which included the hemp champagne. And she was wondering if you could give us a bit more information about that, because she actually has tried making foods, and Liga is amazing. She brings out creations of her kitchen, all hemp, which will just simply blow us all out of our shoes. So if you could share a little bit about the hemp champagne, that would be really cool before we start the audio visual piece.
Yeah. So yes, you'll see in the video we had this bottle of champagne. It was a bit of a breakfast champagne, I think, before Eddie left back for America. So this is a gentleman that lives in France, nearby the Loire River, in a region called Muscadet. It's a white wine, principally. And what he's done is curing hemp flowers, and his own recipe, of course, but hemp flowers in wine barrels. And then he came up with all this recipe. His name is Maxime. Sorry. Maxime Bordelot, and his brand is called Brume, and he has 7, 8, 9, 10 different variety of white, red, and bubbly, as in champagne wines.
Wow.
It's extraordinary to taste his wine. Really, the first time we went to film him 2 years ago because we were so curious. I mean, we had to try this. You know, it's not every day that you can try hemp wine and you think, oh, it's a gimmick, or it's it's a chemical. It's something. It's not natural. It's not really going to work. And this guy, originally a brewer, he's made it work. He's a winemaker, and he's made it work. And his products are fantastic. So Brüm, Maxime Baudrelot, we can maybe put a link in the commentaries later on. But he's a wonderful guy, wonderful product. Yeah,
cool.
And he's not even one of our partners, Maren. But
now it's about time he gets one.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's a young enterprise, and been going for like 4 years only. And we wish him the best, really. And I hope one day we'll have him on board as a proper partner. Yes, absolutely.
Well, you must certainly always keep a how do you say, a bottle on board for any of the think tanks happening, because we surely enjoyed it. And while you're going to share that link with the team, I will say that one of the amazing experiences, and this was really cool, and again, you know, I heard that before about the project, they have a pop-up exhibition. So as soon as the ship comes into a harbor, Fred and Pierre pull out their entire setup and basically have a little how do you call it, like a pull wagon, and bring all of this hemp stuff to shore and then show that in a little pop-up exhibition. And it is so absolutely bloody amazing to see, number one, the assortment of products that you have collected over the years that show what can be done with and from hemp, but also the way you're engaging people, which is in a very interesting way, because you're actually not selling anything. You're literally just doing the educational part in a very animated and fun way. And I don't know, Pierre, is there anything that I forgot to address in our talk, or should we move on to the audio-visual piece that we've produced on the boat?
Maren, if you're happy, so far so good on my side. I'm quite happy with the question and the way it went. And I'm gonna show you this now, because I think there's a little bit of a wave coming through with the boat. Okay, there's a little bit of a swell. Okay, we're not in hurricane weather here in Germany, but there's a little bit of a swell on the boat.
I think this is the perfect moment. We actually need to move into the film and see some real waves happening. Thank you, Pierre. This was really insightful. Lovely.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Fred Chenou and Pierre-Yves Salaün, sailors, travelers, and hemp enthusiasts, returned to France during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Driven by their love for sailing and advocacy for hemp, they founded Hemp4World to promote and educate about its use for humanity and nautical settings. With early support from companies like Technichanvre, Hanemühle, and Nuntisonia, they set sails on their Amel Euros 41 catch rigged, transforming sponsors into partners and embarking on a remarkable journey.
This looks funky, guys. I don't know what Fred's doing, but it is in some relation to what's happening down here. And I don't know what that one's doing either.
No, we're doing completely different things.
Are you sure? How can you be?
Picking mussels.
Oh, what are you picking? Snails.
When hosting guests, teamwork is practiced in sharing the small space available. With great skill, Pierre, captain and skipper, refurbished the 41-foot sailboat using existing hemp products wherever possible. The hemp insulation proved especially effective in the engine compartment, significantly reducing noise levels.
You can hear it? There's noise.
Wow.
The carbon that has been released millions of years ago and gets compressed into coal, and coal is literally lignin, old lignin. Have you guys ever heard of lignite coal?
Mm-hmm.
You have?
Yes.
Okay, lignite coal is young coal.
Okay.
And it doesn't burn as well as coal.
Because
the real coal that's compressed and been there for millions of years, we mine and it's high in BTU. And we heat our stoves and our everything with coal. If it doesn't turn into lignin, in certain circumstances with the pressure and the heat and the oxygen, the carbon and the lignin turn into natural gas under certain instances and into liquid crude oil. Okay, so crude oil, natural gas, and lignin and lignite coal and coal all come from the same source, from plants that are millions of years old. Okay, and they're suppressed in the earth, and it takes millions of years.
Fred, comment tu vas expliquer le climat, le change climatique avec cette volcano?
C'est merde.
J'aime bien cette podcast.
Non, mais c'est...
All right, give me a hit.
Oui.
C'est quoi qu'on a? Oh là là.
Okay, where's the wind now? It's coming from that direction. So when we go there, okay, we're going to turn the boat that way. We're going to open sails this one, that way. So the logo is going to be on the inside of the sail. So you'll be able to see the logo from here. You'll see the full sail with the logo.
What would you tell to the people, the citizen of France?
People and citizens of France.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I don't know. You tell me.
You should say something encouraging.
Encouraging, like, yeah,
like
let's
what-
go to work today. Go to work today. It's Sunday, Saturday. No, don't go to work. Do your thing. Be happy. Good. Cheers. All right. We've got shit to do. Sorry, guys. See you later. Next week we'll have another important message. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
A little garden for the sailors.
C'est bon,
C'est Louis, c'est deux chambres.
Celle-ci, oui.
Ça sent.
On peut sentir.
Ah oui, oui.
Ça sent-
Il y a une son différente. Pas la chambre, mais différent. Ouais.
Ça sent la ferme. Non.
Voilà,
Hein?
la ferme. Un peu vieille.
C'est ça. Je pense pas que je suis aujourd'hui 3.
Je sais que tu avais eu
Demain.
une bonne nuit.
Oui, j'ai bien dormi. Mr. President!
Mr.
What's
President!
happening, Mr. President?
Yeah, I know. Multitasking, huh? It's like just the amount of resources that are being consumed to produce these batteries. They kill everything what's about the ecology.
Well, the
in
amount,
general.
of resources is one thing, but the amount of human resources and the number of people that are dying in Congo because of it, polluting the rivers, polluting the ground. T'as enlevé le... On est sur le 9, c'est bon? Ah ouais, tu mets en Enter pour le MMSI, ouais, c'est bon. Au milieu du carré, ouais. Ouais. Et puis une autre fois, je pense.
Port de Lorient, ici voilier Timoun, en vous remerciant pour cette magnifique semaine. On se revoit sans doute dimanche. Merci.
First you do the back one, the rear one. Which one you want first? Like this.
That's it.
I got him.
Okay. So it's called what?
Are we doing English or French? Are we doing English?
J'ai vu, non, français.
En français. En français, ça c'est tribord et là c'est bâbord.
Tribord,
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 bâbord. Okay, Maren, you're gonna put your thing down and then you're gonna help me here.
Okay.
Or I can ask Milan if you want to. Make sure that everyone is going into the right groove here. Yes? Okay, so you go. And you can undo red and white. You can undo red and white. À bâbord. C'est pour ça qu'on n'a pas pu dérouler. So, put those qui sont trop.
Stop at the. Oh, I see. So.
I can swim to the bar over there, go and get a beer, and swim back at that speed. But look, he's going. He's going. But I mean, he's very light. But
So we throw money over, so we are like as well. Cruising the wind.
Ben, pas que, parce qu'on a le vent vraiment juste derrière.
engine in first,
Okay.
and then. Ok, Fred, on gonfle.
Do you know who it is?
Little Red Riding Hood?
Yeah, the person that said Little Red Riding Hood when we were all together.
We know.
And I'll give you a hint. It was when we all saw this little red dress.
Yeah.
When you can't remember, that's okay. Maybe this will bring it back to you.
This is amazing.
It is. Absolutely. We like going where it goes.
Before you roll the fills, start your engine.
Yeah. So you always go forward so we can start.
Ready?
Wait, it's falling out. It's no problem, right?
That's no problem.
No, let that go.
That's the big one.
I know. It's soft. Hemp's not so soft. But the desks, they look soft. They're all holding. They're all doing.
Ça c'est pour présenter.
Oui, c'est l'idée de pour faire un. Mais c'est pas, j'ai pas eu le temps de finir.
Et ça va être pour maintenant déjà ou non? Non, non.
Mais c'est pour voilà. C'est un peu l'idée qu'on avait. Et il faut que j'ajuste des choses. Ici, je vais avoir des lockers.
Ouais.
ici aussi. Enfin bon, it's not finished, but that's the idea.
C'est génial.
There's a boat sailing there, literally. Oh, he's got his motor.
No, it's normal core. I didn't know like.
It's powder that's been compressed. This is what it is. Powder's been compressed with binder again. But the other
Wow, everything has a space. Love it.
But it would be okay just to reinforce it in the middle and do the structure different.
Voilà.
Merci.
Et quand on va revenir, on n'a pas ouais, c'est ça. Il doit y avoir 3 bouteilles en verre, il y a 2 bouteilles de verre, c'est d'huile. C'est juste quand on revient que vous serez là. Ok, super.
Juste si c'est possible, c'est pas moi.
Ah ouais.
Non mais tout à l'heure,
Ouais, d'accord. Ouais. Ok, super, on fera ça. Ouais, merci. Ok, cool. I love the organic display and I love the rush of doing something maybe illegal, knowing that maybe they're going to look up now. And it's like, Mom, I will set up now, sir, please. Don't do that. Ah oui, bien sûr. Pourtant, c'est la même chose.
C'est ça, c'est ce qu'il y a à faire, c'est ça.
C'est ça aussi.
C'est ça.
C'est du champ, c'est des chapeaux à la Napoléon. Non, non.
c'était plus beau celui de Napoléon quand même.
Ouais, mais bon,
La tête de Napoléon était plus belle que la vôtre.
Ouais, mais il faut voir comment il a fini aussi. Moi, j'espère que je finirai pas à Sainte-Hélène. Hein. Enfin bon, sauf.
De toute façon,
Ouais,
on sait jamais.
on finira tous pareil. Voilà.
Donc moi j'ai acheté ça parce que j'ai vendu.
Oui, il vous fallait une parcelle.
Voilà.
Vous voyez ça?
Oh là là, attention. white wine. And a lot of rain.
Cabin.
Et beaucoup. C'est quoi? Le?
Merde.
And you cut off the top and then you blow into the end?
This one is worked, yeah.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Nice.
I don't know what kind of podcast that's gonna be. The elephant is dying.
It's over. Just shoot. Give him a shot. It does sound a bit like an elephant.
Bruno Lesteven is a professional weaver based in the countryside of Brittany, in the small village of Paillac, Saint-Jacques. In his workshop, Au Fil de Lars, he preserves the art of weaving with locally grown fibers, like hemp, flax, wool, organic cotton and silk. He believes that reviving hemp as a historical fiber is essential for fostering a more ecological lifestyle. His workshop not only teaches weaving to those interested, but also preserves the ancient history of hemp and textile applications, especially its role in early seafaring. Christopher Columbus's fleet, with the ships Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria, sailed under hemp sails on their first expedition. Along with industrial sailmakers, Pierre, Fred, and Bruno are dreaming about the creation of a 100% hemp sail. Envisioned for their boat Timon à moi, this could become a product available also to others, in line with the project's mission: less plastic, more hemp, clean and recyclable.
Les dessins, bah ça c'est différent. Vous voyez le dessin, et là, en fait, sur ce motif-là, en 5 jours, en stage d'initiation, des gens qui n'ont jamais touché un métier à tisser, ils savent se débrouiller. Monter une petite chaîne, et puis lancer. Ensuite, pour être professionnel, c'est bien 6 mois grand minimum de formation. S'il y a 1 voire 2 ans, c'est bien. Et ensuite, il faut pratiquer, pratiquer.
Do you think they put that in for security, so nobody's going to raid the field?
What, the ditch?
Yes.
No, the ditch is just like a normal, waterways. I don't think that.
Why? Why would you do that?
Industrial
Do you fence in mice? Oh, je crois que ça va être le pesto pour la nuit, non? Super. Ouais. Ça c'est comme ça, voir comment Maren fait la cuisine.
Appuyez sur vidéo, ok, it's on. Always. The 2 logo at the back.
Voilà. Il y a la cuisine du drogue. Du drogue sin drogue.
Below this gap.
Hemp, it's the pignon.
Oh wow. Pignon as well.
Ouais. Et basil.
Don't you put any graines de chanvre?
Basil, yeah. Hemp seeds. Oh, this is good. Oh, it's tasty. Really good.
We're gonna be cana.
Well done, hein.
On va juste derrière le... Il y a un du-four. On est juste derrière le du. Ouais. Détroit, amarrage bâbord. Non, elle m'a dit amarrage tribord ce matin.
Très bien la batterie.
Well, well, here was our little immersion, our little taking you all the way into the lands of the Atlantic, off the coast of Brittany. Pierre, are you happy with what we're carrying out into the world of the boat? I hope.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is such a great film. With you guys, we had a fantastic week, and it just gave us an idea, insight of what we can do. You know, this Ubuntu again. You know, it's a community. It's the hemp community. It's the hemp family, and it was wonderful experience. I just, if I may, just want to thank a couple of people that were on the boat as well, our partners, starting with the Corderie Palus. They supplied us with the ropes, 100% hemp ropes for our boat, and not all of the boat is equipped with them, but a good part of it. And then that red T-shirt that I'm wearing, it's a Terre de Chanvre. It's a French guy in the south of France is selling the hemp clothing, and Anne Müller, of course, from Germany for a paper. Thank you, Anne Müller, for your support. Technique Chambre as well. You mentioned them earlier on. They were one of our financial support this year, and Nunti Sunia, of course, and Vincent L'Artisien, a reference in the world of hemp here in France. Thank you very much, Maren, and
So
thank
cool,
you,
yeah.
Alicia and Her Many Voice, for offering me this opportunity to talk on your show. Thank you very much.
This was such a pleasure, Pierre. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Maren, this was wonderful. I loved every bit of it. And so grateful that Ed had an opportunity to meet with you guys and take that trip with you. I know it did his heart good. And he is right now, he is journeying from Colorado to New York. So he's going to be very happy when he gets an opportunity to see the show today.
Wow, that's so special. How interconnected. That's absolutely insane, crazy. And actually, I do want to mention this because I kind of connected my trip to you guys on the boat with a little round tour in France, checking out people such as Vincent L'Artisan. And France is really full of all these small projects. There's Pierre Amadieu, who's doing a decortication machine doing long fiber for textiles. So I think we'll have to dedicate another show in the near future to France, because there were a bunch of really cool how do you say, projects I visited with so many insights that actually connect back to the boat, because they're doing some of the things that you guys are promoting but also using on board.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The biocomposite is a big one. Very briefly, we are looking at building our dinghy for maybe next season, made entirely out of hemp fiber. The shipyard is already connected, and they've expressed their desire to come up with a prototype with even the hemp sail as well for the little dinghy. So yeah, really looking for many years of projects and building up Hemp4World.
And Pierre, will you mention one more time the hemp champagne company?
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, I don't have the link, but I think you can put the link later on. It's Brume. That's the one you put in the chat, Alicia. Thank you very much. Yes. The brand is called the Brume. It's Brume, and from our friend Maxime Bordelot.
Thank you.
Cool, yeah. I don't know if we can, but we should probably fill our show notes with some of these links, because they really show so many inspiring projects and really also quite related to what Pierre and Fred are doing on the boat with a promotion, using these products. I was quite fascinated how you're integrating people to come to the boat and then basically show what they're doing in real life. I mean, there was even an idea at one point, I think, where Fred and Pierre have been doing this podcast on the boat, having like cooks coming in, cooking with hemp. I mean, we kind of did that naturally, and we stole some of the industrial hemp on our way to the sailmaker, and then we had our pesto. Oh, and let me...
Sorry, I wasn't there for that pesto.
Yeah, you missed out, Alicia, but next time.
Yes, between the pesto and the oysters, I'm sitting back here drooling.
And let me say that because it looked so criminal, but because there was this Celtic festival going on, the whole harbor area was closed off, and every time we went in and out or on and off the boat, we would have to go through these security checks where you're literally allowed to bring nothing along. So I think, Pierre, I have no idea how you smuggled in these hemp leaves without getting kicked out. How did that go?
Yeah. I don't know. It takes some bravery. That's all I can say.
That was the most funny moment when they came back on board, because I was already on the boat, and then that head was given to me with the hemp leaves. Yeah. What's this? And everyone's like, "Well, we had to go through security." I'm like, "Oh, well." What do you say? Pesto doesn't pass the security?
Thank you for making that pesto, Maren. It was really delicious. Good combo, good combination of ingredients. Was perfect.
Well, I hope that we soon enough will have our podcast here airing the Himalayan hemp project in India, and then we can also add that whole story of the Himalayan hemp oil into the pesto.
Yeah, that's for the next one.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you.
This is amazing. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
I also want to say a huge thank you in the name of Milan, Eddie, and myself for being able to come and join Fred and you on the boat. It was absolutely bloody vital amazing. It was a really, really cool time, and such a game changer in terms of vision and what we're all burning for in the future. And I hope that we'll be able to develop something really, really big, tangible for the future to come out of our visit.
Absolutely.
And Maren, what's the next show that we have coming up? Where are we going to be?
Zut, and all the traveling. Let me do the switch the button on and off. I think, rumble, don't we have Morocco coming up?
I do believe we have Morocco coming up. Yes.
Yeah, and actually for our audience listening, because usually we're always towards the end of the month, like now on roughly the 27th, but the Morocco show will actually be in 2 weeks already, because I will be traveling to Pakistan and India for the hemp project, and hence we shifted it a little bit before, and we're going online with that on the 10th of October. Actually, a very interesting date, because Alicia and I will be both in Iceland at that moment for a second hemp conference. It's called Hemp for Humanity, right?
I don't know that it's called Hemp for Humanity. I don't believe so, but something close to it could be. It could be, because it is in Icelandic, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, but yeah. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Our time has caught up with us.
Yes.
So we need to get going.
Thank you, everyone, for listening and for participating. It was a true joy having the night and evening with you guys.
Thank you, Maren. Thank you, Pierre.
Thank you to both of you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.